In part 2, we leave Lyon behind and make our way to Beaufort. Along the way, we stopped at a brewery and then drove to Albertville to pick up some supplies. Then we drove through Beaufort onto Lake Roselend, where we visited the famous chapel, then drove back to Beaufort for our overnight stop. We leave the high-rise buildings and the congested roads of Lyon behind and make our way to the eastern part of France, to the area known as the French Alps. We stopped at a small brewery along the way for a coffee break and to pick up some beer for my fellow travelers. As you can see, the tables are set for the upcoming lunch crowd from nearby businesses. This brewery makes several different types of beer, and these are sold in cases or in gift packs. Our next stop was for lunch at La Taverne de l'Arc, a really nice restaurant. I had burger and fries. In the main dining area, they had this model of a French chalet. Continuing our drive, we passed through some beautiful scenery. Our journey takes us along the River Arc. As we progress, we start to see some snow-covered mountaintops in the distance. We arrive in Albertville to pick up supplies, and we pass by this building that was used for the 1992 French Olympics. This is the torch that had the Olympic flame burning for the duration of those games. Getting closer to Beaufort, we start to pass through some almost fluorescent green hills and valleys, with chalets dotted all around. We arrive in Beaufort and drive straight through onto our way to Roselend Lake. On the way to Roselend Lake, we stopped for a quick break at this restaurant that was undergoing renovations. It looks like it got a new roof, but the walls look like they are the original construction. I saw this hiking trail going off into the distant forest. I'm not quite sure where it led to. This pipe was sticking out of the ground and had a steady flow of water. I'm not sure if this was spring-fed or if it was connected to a water supply, but it looks like it was emptying into an animal drinking trough. I took a quick walk along this trail, but there was nothing really special to see here. I did see some small patches of crocus flowers growing along the trail. The flowers were smaller than the indoor variety, being probably about 1 inch in size. Continuing on to Roselend Lake, we were surrounded by more and more snow-capped peaks in the distance. This is Roselend Lake, and we saw that the water level was way down. We later found out that every few years, the lake is drained to allow the bottom to rejuvenate, or something like that. The lake is surrounded by several snow-capped mountains, providing lots of snowmelt to refill the lake. This is what the lake looks like when it's full. There are many waterfalls and streams in the surrounding mountains that feed this lake. The waterfalls and streams are a result of snowmelt from the surrounding mountains. It's hard to tell, but those are a couple of streams that empty into the lake. This is Roselend Dam, also known as Barrage de Roselend. Looking at it from the south end, generally these rocks you see in the foreground would be under several feet of water if the lake was at its normal level. This would be the normal level of the lake. Seeing the ribs and the structure of the dam, which would normally be underwater, is a unique opportunity rarely seen only when the lake is periodically drained. Here are some more significant waterfalls and streams that are feeding the lake. There was this beautiful waterfall in the distance, and the road led very close to it. But unfortunately, as we will see later, the road leading up to it was closed. You can see the tremendous volume of water flowing into the lake to refill it. Here's that beautiful waterfall again, and as you can see how close the road gets to it, but unfortunately we never got that close. This outlet runs underground, close to the bridge where the road was blocked. Once again, notice the huge volume of water flowing through it from all the snowmelt. At the north end of the lake is Roselend Chapel. The original chapel dates back to the early 1700s, but that building was swallowed up by the lake when the dam was built. This building was built in 1962. The chapel was locked, so unfortunately we couldn't go inside. This stream flows under the bridge where the road was blocked off and enters the underground culvert that was shown earlier.
So there's a sign saying the road is closed due to avalanche further ahead. But the road, as far as we can see, is clear, but I guess further along and further up there is some sort of avalanche that closed this route.
This is the dam looking at it from the north end.
So this dam provides electricity for the EDF, which is the French electric company.
These are the typical cows from this region.
Yeah.
I was telling with the black eyes, they say it's the mascara.
Yeah, they got the black eyes, you're right.
Yes.
This whole area has several ski lifts, which take skiers high up into the mountains during winter months. We are now driving back through town for our first overnight stay in Beaufort. We stayed in the Hotel du Grand Mont, a really nice place with decent sized rooms and comfortable beds. This is the end of part 2. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in part 3.